Alrighty, welcome everyone to this presentation. My name is The Alchemista, and the title of this video is called The Trading Initiate and the Foundation Towards Better Trading. So this presentation is going to be dedicated to all those aspiring traders out there that are really trying to find that missing piece in their trading journey that will allow them to really expand themselves and be more well-rounded within their journey, and lead to better results hopefully by the end of this presentation. I can, answer a couple questions and clear a couple things for you guys. So let's continue. So a lot of traders really get mixed up within the idea that, they're all focused on the 10% technical and fundamental side. What do I mean by this? So everyone, and especially nowadays, as we see on social media, YouTube, everyone is finding the strategy, which strategy works, what approach works, how can I do this, how can I do that. But what we don't realize that trading primarily is 90% mental and psychological. Even similar to games like casino games like poker and things like that. If you see the players that really stay the longest and have managed to weather out, let's say, quote unquote, storms within their poker journey or whatever, um, it's all been attributed to having a very strong mental and psychological fortitude rather than knowing necessarily these probabilities or things like that. So really, trading is more mental than anything, and you can look up online as well. The averages are anywhere between 70 to 90% trading being a mental and psychological factor. Because when you think about it and you get to the root of it all, your thoughts are really going to influence everything. The way you think and that mental and psychological, foundation will really lay the overall results that you're going to be getting along your journey. Um, but really, everyone is focusing, most traders nowadays starting out, or even people that who have really been trading for a while just haven't been able to really be profitable. It really comes down to that focusing too much on this 10%, at least initially, and not giving anything to that 90%, which is what will take you to it, and which is what will really let you grow and really will let you further yourself within your journey, is that 90% mental and psychological part of your journey. So the next topic we're going to be talking about is going to be perspective over perception. So let's first define what we're talking about. So perspective is what you interpret, the ability to see, hear, or become aware of something through the senses. So when I say senses, I mean the five senses, your body, your being. And then we go to perspective. Perspective is the way we see something, our point of view, logically taking a look at the situation and access that situation before engaging in it. So the reason why I bring this up is I want people to understand that this aspect is such a big pivotal role within even just regular life, but also in your trading. You see, what you surround yourself with on a constant day-to-day basis, all these different things you hear, eat, or anything, is going to influence that perspective aspect, which leads to influencing your decision making. So it's like a chain, like a cause and effect. And repetition ties all three. So if you think about perception in terms of repetition, let's say, for example, somebody that goes to the gym. Let's say, they're in an unhealthy household, you're constantly around, people eating fast food or things of that nature, which is fine. But let's say they want to get a six pack, or they want to really, get better in their health. Really, it takes surrounding themselves first in an environment, or, let's say connecting with other people that have a different point of view that they want to see themselves in. Let's say they see, they're surrounded with a lot of friends that are healthy. They speak healthy things, they go out and they, want to, they constantly are going to the gym, things like that. That repetition of being around people like that, listening, hearing things of that nature, is going to influence that perspective of that person. And that perspective will engage that decision making factor within that person's life to go out to the gym and build discipline towards making better decisions to reach their goals. So repetition is what's going to really connect the three that will influence everything overall. But in the middle is perspective. It's the mediator between what you take in and what comes out of it. It's that it's that really that last main pivotal moment before something gets actualized. So it's the hybrid, the combination between the repetition of your perception with your decision making. So that quality of thought, that thinking roots itself in the perception of one's life, which leads to that decision making process. And then the mindset. So the mindset we have to think about, in trading, as I said before, that it's 90% psychological and only 10% technical. So let's really focus on what's that foundation aspect of the overall psychological component, but tying that back into what I talked about with the perception and the perspective. So your quality of thinking and ideas will then lead to influencing your emotions. And then these emotions will then lead to influencing your actions. And we then have a end result. So in this cause and effect relationship, we go in order that based on what you're thinking on a day-to-day basis constantly influences how you feel. And how you feel will influence how you act. And this is definitely related into trading to where, if you just had a situation in your life that's, it's not good, your emotions are not gonna be in check because the way you're thinking is really tying that back into what we talked about, your perception and your perspective. You're getting that sensory information, and the way you're feeling about it will then influence your trading results. And that end result will then come back to what I was talking about before with repetition, a self reflection and repetition. The reason why I added self reflection to this was so that really we sit down and we analyze, why are we thinking the way we're thinking? How can one think better? And was the quality of my thoughts, emotions, and actions in line with everything that I really wanted? So once we go through this, you know, this chain, cause and effect, it really takes a moment to first self-reflect on what we thought, felt, and acted upon, and what was the end result on that. And through the repetition of this, we'll begin to really notice how we become an observer in all this, and that we begin to make better decision making because it's like a business in a way where you bookkeep. You're constantly keeping logs of yourself, and influencing that subconscious mind to make really better decisions because the subconscious is just repetition. It's what you do, it's the programmed aspect of your mind that will act out essentially. So it really begins on the quality of those thoughts and ideas. And then remember that that influences then your emotions, which then leads to your actions and the end result. But by self reflecting on all four on a day to day basis, especially within trading, um, it will lead to such a profound level of growth that it's dramatically, many people can't even understand and fathom that aspect because it's like we talked about before, where trading is that 90% psychological and 10% technical. Alrighty, so the next topic we're going to be talking about is being a goal driven individual rather than being aimless. So the reason why I bring this up, you see, many times as traders, we want to go in, we don't even have any set goals, any risk parameters, a framework sort of in which we, before even pressing any buttons and before even looking at a chart, we really break down, what are the goals for for my equity? For example, let's say for the month, you want to make 16% of your equity, right? Monthly, and then you know that you're able to risk 3% or 2%, whatever that amount is. And then you see, okay, so if I want to reach 16% of this, how much do I need to make per week, per day, or whichever frequency in which you trade, and that way you're driven. You have a goal-driven mindset to where it takes away that anxiousness, that FOMO, because you're being driven in a more professional and rational aspect rather than just aimlessly trying to engage within the marketplace, which could lead to, FOMO, fear, and all these different things, or even bad trades, bad decisions, which isn't really well grounded into having a more rational and a more controlled based aspect of your mindset. So it goes back to that perception again and perspective, like we talked about. You're just taking in that sensory information and acting upon it. You don't even think and digest that information before you act. So it's really, really, really crucial. So some things that I wanted to add here. So we're talking about having well-defined goals that are written down in a present tense manner. So what do I mean by this? So it's having not only having, let's say, maybe like a spreadsheet or something, but also actually have goals well defined. So for example, you want to have that 16% gain. So you're going to say, I will reach 16% in monthly equity gains before the end of the month. And then you can also utilize visualization, which is really about seeing where you want to be. Because as we said before, everything starts in that mental world. If you can, using your imagination capabilities, you see yourself, your thoughts, and things of that nature, see yourself already at the point where you know you've achieved what you wanted. But none of this can, really make any use to you if you don't have action behind that. So by having those goals, utilizing that visualization, you have to then take action, because showing up every day, taking action is what's going to lead to that growth within your journey as a trader and even in life. So action, and especially every day, remember, repetition, repetition, repetition. It goes back to everything. What you do every day, constantly, over and over, will then be your results. You know, if every day you know you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, and you're taking the time to really dedicate yourself to working on your mind before necessarily your trading, you'll see such a profound effect on your overall results. And some books on the mind that I recommend: As a Man Thinketh by James Allen, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy, The Master Key System by Charles F. Hannell, The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale, and Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. So these books I highly recommend. Start with one and really study it. Sit down, take notes, and sort of encompass yourself within that book to really understand what that author is trying to convey to you. But these books, absolutely amazing books on the mind, and I believe that these books will really help you as a trader and your overall journey in the long run. And the next topic we're talking about is about gauging in healthy habits. So, many times we get caught up in only thinking about trading or only about the mind, but we have to realize that there's other factors that also influence how, we trade and how we feel and how we think. It's not all just about trading or necessarily psychological work. It's also about when you have a well-rounded mental state. There's certain factors that play a role that are not even, computer or trading related. They're going to be really dealing more with being in the outdoors, physical activities, gym, things that get the body moving and growing. So just like your mind, your body has to grow with you. By growing with you, you're gonna see, you're having a more disciplined and a healthier mindset overall. You then have also friends and families and any other social opportunities. Engaging in different dialogues and gaining different perspectives, from anyone is going to really allow you to even, have a, introspection within yourself and begin to understand why you also think certain things. And if maybe there's other ways to engage or see life in a different manner. Also, proper nutrition and moderation. Of course, you can eat whatever you want, but with proper moderation, and but also engaging in proper nutrition is key to having a well-rounded mental state because it's mind and body. They got to work with one another and be in balance. By having this all in one, everybody balanced, you're going to be able to really grow and really understand and find yourself within the markets and have that foundational aspect that we spoke about in the beginning. So, in closing, I want to leave you all with a quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson, and he says, "As a man thinketh, so is he, and as a man chooseth, so is he." So, right away, it goes back exactly to what we were talking about, which is focusing on that mental aspect. It all begins there. Everything, a chair began as a mental thought, and it became reality. Even YouTube and all these different things, it became as an idea, a mental idea. And through the repetition of having these ideas, the quality of your thoughts, you can achieve the results that you're looking for in trading. So I hope this presentation was insightful to all of you. I really appreciate your time for watching. Um, and until next time, have a wonderful day.